Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff, always welcomed by the one and only Angel Ortega. Bit of a light week in terms of UFC and stuff to go over. Obviously, we got to hit UFC Vegas that happened last Saturday, UFC London going down this Saturday, and then Bellator 276. Maybe a little bit of news mixed in there as well. As always, we are brought to you by Rogue Energy. Rogue Energy. If you want 10% off your order, use the code Soundoff at checkout. It's code Soundoff at checkout for 10% off all your energy needs at RogueEnergy.com. Amazing sponsor of the show. If you listen to the show by now, you're very well aware of who they are, what they do. You want to go and get some from them. RogueEnergy.com. Code Soundoff. That's 10%. That's a huge, huge amount. And I'm a big fan of them. Helped me a lot during my danger. I'm sure they help you a lot as well. You know,
dude, they come in clutch sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, they're very, very clutch. So
you know what we're talking about them, Josh? What's your current favorite right now?
My current favorite flavor?
Yeah. I know they've added some. I don't know. Did you get the gummies? I don't know if you saw that.
I have not gotten the gummies.
I'm thinking about getting it. I don't know.
What's your favorite flavor, Andrew, right now?
I always rock my fruit punch, dude. I haven't finished it because you don't need to use a lot. Like you can use a small amount and it gives you plenty of flavor.
Yeah, they say it's 30 servings typically, 30 to 40 servings per thing, but like,
dude, honestly, I don't use the full scoop.
Yeah, I don't need it.
If not, it's a little too strong for me.
Honestly, dude, I'm a big fan. I've said this since the beginning. Grape popsicle is fucking.
Is it really that good? I might have to.
I'm a big fan of it, dude. I'm a huge fan because it's like it tastes like grape, but it's like kind of sweet, but it's not overly sweet. You know.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to try this, man. I don't know.
You might need to. I still want to try that because they added in shakes. You know, I want to get one of that caramel vanilla latte. I'm gonna get that.
I feel like that'd be nice if you like did it right with like if you tried to make it like a coffee in some capacity, you know?
Well, I mean, you know me. I'm a coffee guy, so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys. RogueEnergy.com. You got a lot of different stuff. They got merch. They got some packs if you want to get like a starter kit or something.
I think that's the best. Stuff.
Yeah. And, you know, if you guys got somebody special in your life, they have gift cards. So you can go ahead and get one as well. 10% off. Code Soundoff. That's all I'm saying. Amazing sponsor of the show. Anyways. Last Saturday night from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada, UFC Vegas 50. We said going in that it's probably the greatest fight night card to ever take place at the Apex, and you know, minus the main event, I'd actually say that it pretty much lived up to the hype. But as far as the main event goes, Magomed Ankalaev defeating Thiago Santos. I'd say the biggest test of his UFC career so far. I thought he rose to the occasion, dude. I actually thought that he had some great moments. Scored a knockdown in round 2. I thought he made it pretty damn close. In the end, though, Magomed Ankalaev getting the unanimous decision victory. 48-47, 49-46, 49-46. First of all, I'll ask you, how did you score the fight? And what do you think about Magomed Ankalaev's performance?
I don't have an official scorecard, but I did have Magomed winning. I wish I would have kept one now that you mentioned it, because there was some decently close rounds in there. Because they were very, I wouldn't say hesitant to throw, but very safe, right? You have to be safe at this level, and especially from light heavyweight and on, right? It's like, dude, these shots are, you know, they rattle you, you know, and they rattled Magomed. I feel like if anything, he was probably who was in most danger during this fight. You know, I forgot what round it was, but there was one specific round where he had to rally back because he was in danger.
I'm pretty sure there's round 3 or 4. I know we got dropped in 2. You know, we got dropped near the end of round 2, and he got saved by the bell now.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and Santos got right on top of him, right? Like very quickly, like instantly.
Yeah, I mean, if he got knocked down with like 10 seconds left, even he's getting knocked down with 10 seconds left, probably the end of the fight. He got clipped hard behind the back, not back of the head, but you know, on the ear. Yeah. So honestly, dude, I actually scored a 48-47. I actually thought it was a very, very close fight. I think, you know, honestly, it's kind of rare that I actually say this because like the striking numbers are super close, and everybody says, oh, you know, they're winning the fight based off of their pressure. That's like the last thing that's supposed to come in whenever like a fight's close. I actually think him moving forward that's literally the reason he won the fight. Because if you look at the scorecard, like at the stats, and stats on everything, but like, dude, they were right there in terms of striking numbers. I gave 1 to Ankalaev, 2 and 3 to Santos, and then round 4 and 5 to Ankalaev. He just looked good down the stretch. You know, I've seen a lot of criticism about Ankalaev being like boring And a lot of stuff being said about him. I think he just fought the smart fight here. I think it worked out. He was fighting a super dangerous guy, and it worked, man. And he's not directly in line because I feel like obviously Yuri's gonna fight Glover, and then Alexander Volkov is probably gonna fight the winner of that. But who do you think he fights next? I think Anthony Smith probably a clear name. But is there anybody else that you think would be good for him?
That's someone I saw, but I don't know. I feel like they could do. I don't know. I don't know exactly what they plan on doing with Anthony Smith, but Anthony Smith is in a position where he is in line to get another nice name. I don't think that'll be Santos, because obviously Santos got a few losses. Dom Reyes is kind of out of the picture, so he's fighting up. So it's going to be Ankalaev, Rakic, and Blachowicz is wrapped up right now. He's fighting. Blachowicz is fighting Rakic, right?
He was supposed to. They're actually supposed to fight next week at UFC Ohio, I think. But then he had to pull out. He has like some sort of neck injury. Don't know what's next. Don't know what's going on with him.
Maybe we get a Rakic Smith fight, didn't you know?
That would make a lot of sense.
Unless they want to do a Rakic Ankalaev, but Ankalaev just fought. But I feel like Smith and Rakic is actually a more likely fight to happen because Anthony Smith's down to fight. I'm sure he's like ready to go, and he kind of wants an opponent. And if that's available, you take your opportunities as they are, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could do Magomed Ankalaev versus Jan Blachowicz when he comes back.
Ooh, that'd be good.
And that would make it a number one contender. And then that way, if Blachowicz wins, he could get a rematch pretty quick, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of options right now because the light heavyweight's in a weird spot. Obviously, the title
I'd say from 5 up, there's a lot of options. Like, there's a lot of matchups. From 6 all the way down, I feel like there's guys who are trying to make their way up, and there's guys who are in weird spots who need to get wins. Like, the only clear guy who's going to come up right now, I think underneath 5 is probably Jamal Hill at this point.
Yeah. I don't know, man. They're in a weird spot right now, light heavyweight, just because and it's through nobody's real fault, honestly. There's like a little bit of backup, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like under normal circumstances, Ankalaev, he could get a title shot with his current winning streak. Same thing for Rakic. But obviously, Yuri's going to get the title shot. So there's 2 guys potentially already in waiting. And it's through nobody's real fault, but
it's the highest level, man. What do you expect?
Yeah, it got super backed up super quickly.
But it's weird at the bottom, dude, because at the bottom usually we have those guys on win streaks. But if you look at it, a lot of guys below has lost. Santos, a few losses. Reyes, a few losses. Did Volkan win his last fight or one of his last fights?
Volkan lost to Ankalaev last time out.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, and then he had the Yuri loss too. So yeah, losses there. Nikita Krylov lost as well. Jamal Hills, like I said, Paul Craig win-loss. Yeah. And then Johnny Walker, obviously we know he's coming off. Ryan Spann just lost to Anthony Smith. Jimmy Crute, we just saw get put out. And Justin Jacoby just got ranked. So like you see it's kind of like it's weird. All those guys are usually on the come up, but right now they're kind of on the coming down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of a weird place. It's kind of a weird place. But regardless, it's still a fun division right now. And I think Magomed Ankalaev is a big part of that. I like I said last time we spoke, I think I said he's going to be champ within the next year or two. Sticking to that. I don't see anybody beating this kid. I think he's just so defensively sound, and at times can he be a bit safe? Yes, but man, when he puts it on, he can put it on. You know what I mean? Like, he can really put on great performances. I don't know. I don't think last Saturday is probably his best night of the office, but, we'll see what happens moving forward with him. Speaking of not a great night at the office, man, Marlon Moraes, man, I don't know what to say about this one, man. He gets knocked out by Song Yadong in about 2 minutes. Took off his gloves in the cage afterwards. We don't know if he's going to retire. He isn't making a public statement. Obviously, since he got knocked out, he couldn't speak on the mic, and he obviously has not made a public statement, but, what do you even say about this one? Co-main spot.
I don't know, man. It's such a sad situation, dude. It's just been a constant fall, and we say it every time, man. And I brought up, I was like, I don't know if it's hesitation. I don't know if maybe it is damage. I don't know what it is, Josh, but I don't know if he's gonna retire or not. And people, I listen to podcasts, they're like, he's not gonna get cut yet. But I'm like, dude. It's kind of like, I know there's guys who are, not as good as Marlon Moraes in the UFC. And it's not like I'm saying those guys shouldn't be cut either, right?
Yeah.
But at least for some of them, you can make arguments for some of their fights, right? But for Marlon Moraes, dude, it's been clear as day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because here's the thing. It's like it's been getting worse every single fight. Like, you can argue that, I think most people probably see him as on a 6-fight losing streak. Like, whether or not that's fair, because yes, he technically did beat Jose Aldo. I don't think too many people, I don't think too many people actually count that one. The UFC doesn't even count that one. You know what I mean? It was just a really bad decision. Got knocked out by Sandhagen relatively easily. Knocked him out relatively easily. He did have moments against Merab, but even then, didn't look great. And then he got knocked out, obviously, and then he got knocked out by Song Yadong in that one. Easy, not even any competition. It's just, I don't know what to really say about it. This is a fight that, like I said on Saturday on Twitter, I was like, obviously awesome for Song Yadong, but first of all, I don't think this win did anything for him, honestly.
Mm-hmm. We got up the rankings a lot. He's number 9 now.
Oh, I didn't know that it moved him up that much.
Yeah, he's tied with Pedro Munoz at 9. He got up there.
Good for him.
He passed Ricky Simone and Sean O'Malley and Frankie Edgar.
Okay. In that case, good for him. But yeah, man, it's just tough to watch him now, man. It is very, very. It's just tough to watch him on the rise. If this is truly the end, congrats on an amazing career. Not Hall of Fame, but Hall of very good.
Hall of very fun.
Yeah, Hall of very fun, Hall of very good, in my opinion. He was in his prime. Obviously, he's 33 now, and we don't think of that as being that old. But at bantamweight, it's tough, man. It's very, very tough to be. And also, he's had a lot of wars. He had a lot of wars back in the World Series of Fighting days. Even some of those, UFC fights, some of those early ones. The John Dodson fight was really good. The Rafael Santos fight were both very, very competitive. That Cejudo fight was a war. He's had a lot of miles on him, plus adding the age. I don't know, man. Props to him on a great career.
And the weight cut too, right?
Yeah, he's big for that division too. He used to be a featherweight. Started off his career at featherweight, actually. He started off 5-4-1 to start his career at featherweight. Cut down to bantamweight, and had a great career. So props to him. Obviously, Song Yadong, man. Like I said, I don't think this does a lot.
The hype train is still going, though.
For me personally, it didn't change my opinion of him, but that's just because I was so high on him to begin with. He's only 24 years old.
He's only going to get better. It's scary.
He's getting better every fight. Every single fight, man.
He has the best coach in his corner, too.
He does. He's a tremendous coach. Working at Team Alpha Male, they kind of they've been working this kid for a long time, and you see it. He's getting better every single time he's out there, man. He's like a fucking sponge. He's just absorbing all the information. And in his early UFC career, he was winning fights, but he just couldn't knock out the top level guys. Now he's finishing them, and that's a huge step. Honestly, that's such a huge step.
China has one, dude. China has one right here. They have a special one, another one.
They really do. So props to him. Huge win. As far as the rest of the card goes, my man, what are some of the other performances that you kind of want to highlight?
Let me have it here. I went back one too many. Khalil Roundtree, Josh. We have to credit him, right? Obviously, another win, another finish. Got a little sketchy there on the way up when his opponent tried to stand up and he kicked him when he was on the ground. But hey, man, he still ended up getting it. It ended up working out. And obviously the what he said afterwards, you gotta love the guy, right? He's been through a lot and he's still giving us fun ass fights, man. And maybe he could put a little bit here together, right? He can start stringing them together. That's 2 finishes in a row. And fought in pretty decent time frame too. Maybe hope he sneaks in maybe another 2 in the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Dude, Khalil Roundtree, he's 32 now. I never truly expected him to, there was a point in time back in 2018 where I was like, you know what, can he make a run for a title? Maybe. Where he had that 3-4 fight unbeaten streak and he was knocking dudes out. I was like, you know what, maybe he can make a run for the title, maybe make a run for the top 10. And it's been sketchy since then. But dude, his last 2 performances have been some of his best in the octagon. Obviously, I think his best one will always be Eric Andrews, where he scored the knockdown record, I think. Mm-hmm. But dude, that Matadas Bukakis not a knockout, but stoppage win where he leg kicked him to death, In this one, Carl Roberson's no punk. And, granted, he's struggled lately, but still a pretty decent guy. And he just got dominated. That was an insane performance. The body kick, dude. Oh my god, I thought I was watching some Pride style shit in there, dude. Like when he's laying in the kicks to the bottom. I loved it. Loved to see it. And obviously his speech afterwards. I know that we talked about him like in the green room, you know, about like his insane story. A lot of people don't know, man. Like, but he's talked about this about, you know, Killer Roundtree is what? I think I just said it. He's 32, right? And you look at his career, it's like, oh, it's not that many fights. Well, he wasn't supposed to be an MMA guy. He was just a guy that like was an alcoholic. He was a smoker. And, I remember he like watched, I think he saw like his brother watching MMA, and he was like, he joined just a team, decided to lose weight, and then he just found out that he's really fucking good at it. And, that's his career, and he gave this really passionate speech, and it was like, dude, Killer Roundtree is a great story. If he can make a run for the title, that'd be dope. I think like right now we're starting to see him hit his prime, where like he's always had the physical ability, but now he's adding in the technical ability too. So if he can keep his current momentum going, who knows, you know? Yeah, man, awesome performance. But I honestly, dude, I think we just got to go one down. Drew Dobber knocking out Terrence McKinney, dude.
It was a banger of a first rounder, though, dude.
Yeah, absolutely insane first round.
Round of the year, right? Like at this point, like undisputed round of the year.
Undisputed, yeah. I mean, Drew Dobber, he's only been finished once in his career, and that was all the way back in 2011. So he's not a tough guy to knock out. Terrence McKinney nearly did it, dude. He knocked him down hard, and then he almost got the finish, but he just gassed out. Drew Dobber came back.
I mean, you know something I gotta say too, though? I think he also made a mistake letting him stand back up. Because he had him on the ground, and Terrence McKinney has an original, you know, wrestling background. Hey man, stick to the bread and butter. You did it in your last fight. Why don't you do it in this fight?
Yeah, that's fair. I think that I think he like knew that, you know, he's only coming in on short notice, and once he cracked him, he's like, oh fuck, I gotta do this now. I don't have the gas for probably 15 minutes of this. I mean, yeah. I saw a lot of people shitting on him. I think I saw like, who was it?
I thought he did a good job. For sure.
I think it might have even been Brett I don't want to, might have been Okamoto. I think he was like, Terrence McKinney's got to learn that there's more than 2 minutes for a fight. And I'm like, dude, what do you mean? Like, the guy is coming in on super, super short notice. Like, he's got a fucking, he cracked him. Like, no shit. He's going to try and get a finish. Like, what a stupid thing to say.
He tried fucking hard, dude. He tried fucking hard, too.
Yeah, and I don't blame him. He had him badly hurt. And when you come in on, like, 10 days notice? He just fought earlier this month or last month. I mean, what are you going to do, dude? Like, it's just, that's what you have to do in that situation. So, yeah, I saw a lot of people shitting on him, and I did not like them whatsoever. Regardless, so nice win for Drew Dobber. Opening up the main card was Alex Pereira, Bruno Silva. You know, Alex Pereira has so much hype behind him.
Hey man, he stopped some takedowns though, Josh. You gotta give him some credit.
I'm not about to shit on him. But what I'm about to say is like, maybe this will be the win that shows people like, yeah, he's still got a ways to go, you know? Like, he's not a complete product. He's not gonna go out there and just knock people out like he's fucking Mike Tyson. Like, he got a nice knockout last time, but.
Yeah, you know what's crazy though? This fight impressed me though. Like, I don't know, it gave me some hope. Do I think he's like, I think if you throw him in there with Robert Whitaker, I think he gets starched. Like, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, obviously.
But regardless, he showed some good attributes in there. He couldn't get the guy out, but he did everything to try to close out the fight. It's not like he wasn't trying to. He was legitimately trying to do it. And on top of that, he showed some good. He had some takedown defense, bro. He stuffed a few of the takedowns. He stuffed him. He stayed on his feet. He actually ended up near the ground. He touched the canvas, like, and he got back up. Like, I gotta give him hella credit for that, dude. That he didn't end up on his back or anything. Like, he didn't end up in a situation like, no disrespect, our boy Blood Diamond.
You know, it's funny. Like I said, I'm not saying this to like be like rag on his performance by any means. I'm just saying, like, obviously he still has a way to go. But I also was not impressed necessarily, but I was like happy to see the, like, you know, some kickboxing guys come in and they struggle hardcore. Not with like takedowns or not with this or that. Obviously, a lot of it actually comes down to like rounds. It's a huge change when you've been fighting 3-minute rounds to go to 5-minute rounds. And a lot of those guys gas out. Gokhan Saki, I think, is the one I think of. Obviously, he came in, looked phenomenal in his first fight, and he nearly lost because, like, the first 3 minutes he was battering the guy, and it's like, oh shit, there's another 2 minutes of this round. That, believe it or not, that's a huge, huge change. Obviously, you can deal with that in training, but it's not until you actually get in the cage that you show, oh yeah, I got that gas. Looks, dude, Alex Mejia looked like a seasoned veteran in there. And he, like I said, it's going to be tough for him to get the finishing ability. Everybody expects him to just go in there and starch these guys. That's not always going to happen. Bruno Silva is a really tough guy. And you know what? It was a good performance, but also one that's going to bring him down to earth potentially, and one that's also going to bring other people down to earth. But we'll see what happens moving forward. I still do think that he's in that position where he needs to get, 1 win, 2 wins? Not 1 win, but 2 wins, I think. Title shot, probably.
I don't know, man.
Depending on who he fights.
I don't know who he's going to fight next. I don't know who they're going to throw at him. I'm assuming like just about a ranked guy, if not like outside of the 15 or something crazy. I don't know what they're going to do.
Mm. Yeah, we'll see what happens. As far as the undercard goes, Damon Jax picked up a nice win. Man, Guido Canetti. We were wrong about this one, man.
I didn't give any predictions personally.
Yeah, we didn't predict it, but it kind of looked like one where it's like, oh yeah, Chris Mutino.
It looked like they were trying to help him out a bit, giving him an older guy,
Giving him an older guy who's at 1 since 2018, Guido Canetti got hands, though. He's got that old man strength, man. He went in there and knocked the shit out of Chris Mutino.
That might be finished of the night. Well, I don't know. Maybe the one before this was finished of the night, the flying knee.
Yeah, man. It was rough. It was a rough one for him, man. Obviously, he didn't get knocked out, but he showed that incredible chin, but he got TKO'd again. So, yeah.
Dude, this guy's head is made of something, man, because he was still up too. Like, I don't know what Chris Mutino's got in there, dude.
Yeah, it's not. It was hard to watch, man. It was hard to watch. I'm hoping for the best for him, dude. I really do hope Chris Mutino can turn things around. I would love to see it because I think it'd be a great story, and I thought he showed a lot of heart. But we're a ways away from that. I think he's got to improve a lot to even show that he's UFC caliber. Because Guido Canetti, he's a veteran. He's been around the game, but he's a 42-year-old bantamweight who hasn't won since 2018. Let's just call it what it is. So. Yeah, we'll see.
But now he's only won since 2022 now, Josh. So.
Oh, excuse me. Regardless, we'll move on. I think the last fight that I personally want to discuss, Miranda Maverick picking up a nice win, showing that she's still great, still only 24 years old. Got the bad taste of the Aaron Blanchfield loss out of her mouth. Prior to that, she obviously got robbed horrifically against Macy Barber. So yeah, it's good to see her back on the win column. Is there any other fights from this last weekend you want to talk about before we move on?
No, not specifically. We covered all the ones I wanted to. Obviously, the opener, which was a crazy fucking finish. If you haven't watched that, go on Twitter, go on whatever, go on your ESPN Plus, go watch it, bro. That shit was sickening.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Yeah, man. As far as this weekend goes, first time that we're gonna have crowds at a fight night
and it's sold out.
2 years? Roughly 2 years. March 2020 was the last one, UFC 248. Man, we've obviously had crowds since then, but, well, actually, since it's a fight night, first fight night, it'd be the week before that. So, I think the last fight night with crowds was Figueroa versus Benavidez 1. Pretty sure. If you want to fact check me, you can. But yeah, it's been well over 2 years. So now we're back. UFC London, my man. Fucking insane card. Let's just go and put it like it is. A lot of these guys are from Russia. We thought maybe there'd be some complications. I saw yesterday Volkov has landed. He's landed in the UK.
What about Nikita Krylov? Is he fine? Did he land too?
I don't know. I just know Volkov's there.
From Ukraine?
I don't know. I just know that Volkov's there. We're good to go.
I feel like we would have known by now. The only one that we know had to withdraw, and we don't know why. I don't know why. It just said it was for other reasons. Was Ludwig Shanlin. He withdrew. He was on the Ultimate Fighter, Josh, if you remember him. He was the one with really good wrestling. I think Olympic level wrestling.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so we missed out on him.
Yeah, that sucks. As far as this card goes, though, regardless, this is still an insane card, dude. Top to bottom, just absolutely insane names. But as far as the main event goes, man, huge turning point fight. Tomo Aspinall, man, you're talking about a kid, 28 years old. He's got the headlining spot in the UK. He's a former Cage Warriors product, former Bama prospect, and he's just improved so much fight to fight to fight. He's looking better and better, and he's getting that big opportunity, that big crack at the number 6 in the world, Alexander Volkov. He's 3-1 in his last 4. I think that kind of 2020 was kind of the turning point for him, where he decided, fuck it, I'm going to go and put on a lot of mass. I'm going to go and change my stuff around. I'm going to move forward. And he showed that off, knocked out Walt Harris, knocked out Overeem. He lost to Cyril Gane, but prior to the Ngannou fight, he was the closest one to show anything against Cyril Gane. So, take that for what it's worth. And then he came back to beat Marcin Tybura and end Tybora's win streak. So, very big turning point for both these guys. Obviously, Volkov, I don't want to say needs a win to kind of remain in title contention, but I kind of does, right? Like, this would be a huge win for him to get himself into the title conversation. And Tom Aspinall, he needs this one to break into the top 5. Angel, do you think Tom Aspinall can get it done in the O2 and move into title contention?
Josh, you already know who I'm picking, Josh. I'm picking Alexander Volkov, Josh. I'm picking Alexander Volkov. Future UFC champ still. He still has time, Josh. He still has a chance, Josh. I think he can do it.
Yeah, Alexander Volkov.
Hey, man, he's been experimenting a lot with the weight. He's been changing it up. We've seen him. Every time I see him, Josh, he's a little different. He's a little more cut, maybe a little bit bigger.
Got a different tattoo.
I don't know if he's going through some breakups. I don't know. But regardless, man, he's always in the works. He's always trying to do something, And as of lately, I can like that. I like the fact that he's trying to change it up. He's trying to see what he can do. And hey, man, he's a tough guy to finish. He's only in the later half of his career. He's only been finished twice. One of them was I think Vitaly Minakov, and obviously we know the last second knockout. Well, not last second, but the late finish out of Derek Lewis in the 3rd round on that UFC 229, that legendary night in New York, wasn't it? Or was it? No, it was Vegas. It was Vegas. Never mind. I thought it was New York. Thinking back to when Conor went to New York to the press conference.
Yeah.
But that legendary night in Vegas, and yeah, dude, I think Volkov's gonna get it done, man. I think he's a hard matchup for anybody doing this division. He's just his size, his experience, his tight bit of, his tight stand up. My issue is, Josh, and it's something that we've noticed more recently, is sometimes it seems like the output isn't fully there, but it makes sense for the guy who's so big and so tall, and the movements are just much slower, and getting there takes a little bit longer. But I mean, he's also fighting a big guy. I mean, Tom Aspinall is no small guy. He's 6'5", man. He's right up there with him,
Yeah.
I mean, he's not 6'7", but he's right up there.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah, man, I really thought this is interesting matchmaking, because I remember Tom Aspinall's talking about, like, yeah, I'm not looking for this super fast rise. I'm young. People forget, like, before he got signed to the UFC, or not long before he got signed to the UFC, he took off, 3-4 years just to train. Obviously, this is just based off his wiki. He started off 5-2, and then he didn't fight for another 3 years. And then he just got signed really, really quickly. He's like, what? I'm still pretty young in my career, dude. Like, I'm not looking for this fast rise. And they're like, nah, fuck that, bro. Here's, this insane matchup, this 6'7" monster from Russia. Who's one of the greatest strikers. Yeah, good luck, bro. We'll put you in your hometown, though. That'll be fun. Dude's nickname is Drago, dude. He's a bad motherfucker. And, man, I think this is a rough matchup for him. I really, really do. I mean, Volkov has improved his wrestling a lot, too, and especially in a 5-rounder. If this were a 3-rounder, I'd feel a lot more comfortable picking Tom Aspinall. But, dude, he's never gone more than 2 rounds in his career. He hasn't even made it to a decision once. I'm going to take Alexander Volkov. He's the more accomplished guy. He's the more seasoned veteran. He's been the 5-round distance multiple times.
And he could get there.
And I think that in a 5-rounder, I think it's going to be tough, dude. They really did not do this kid any favors.
But he might surprise us, Josh. We never know.
Yeah, he might. I mean, what are the odds on this fight, honestly? Do you know?
I can pull that up for you right now, Josh. It's near even. Minus 120 for Volkov and plus 100 for Tom Aspinall.
So Volkov is a super slight favorite.
Yeah, the slightest you can get.
Yeah, so not surprising. Man, I feel it was a rough matchup for him, but we'll see. Down at featherweight, I got to be honest, I hate this fight.
This is a weird one for Dan Hooker to come back to like instantly.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Arnold Allen, damn, I say the hottest featherweight prospect right now.
I mean, one of them, man, one of them for sure.
Ranked number 7 and 17-1, picking up some nice wins. Only just up and up stocking. Very kind of like a bit under the radar. I feel like a bit to say honestly, because I feel like for his win streak, for how good he is, I feel like he doesn't get a lot of attention. But regardless, he's maybe a win or two away from getting a title shot, legitimately. And he's welcoming Dan Hooker back down to featherweight. If you guys remember, Dan Hooker at featherweight, nothing to write home about. In fact, very middling guy. Moved up to lightweight back in 2017, and that's when he obviously went on that insane run where he became a title contender and so on and so forth. You know what, man? First of all, I don't like Dan Hooker going back down to lightweight at all, but I'll trust him in his move. But even if we're trusting him in his move, I don't think Arnold Allen is the right matchup to go back down for, right or wrong.
No, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the fight goes, man, what do you think? Who do you got?
Dude, I'm gonna pick Arnold Allen, man. I mean, he's the established featherweight. Dan Hooker's got him finished a few times. He's cutting down to 145, man. I mean, I think, Josh, I wouldn't be surprised if Dan Hooker gets finished in this fight.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and, if Arnold Allen had more finishing, I don't want to say finishing ability, but he has one finish in the UFC in his entire tenure. I'd feel a lot more comfortable picking Allen via finish, but I am going to pick him via decision. I just don't, if Dan Hooker were coming back and he were fighting, I don't even know, like.
Sadiq Youssef.
No. It's funny because we skipped right by him. If you're coming down to fighting Alex Caceres, or like, somebody who's like on the verge of a top 15.
See, but they you know, the thing is though, Dan Hooker was like a middle pack guy at 155, so they felt the necessity to give him a middle pack guy like Arnold Allen as well.
Yeah, which is fair, I guess, but damn, man. I mean, Arnold Allen's on a hell of a win streak. He's ranked number 7. I don't know, man. I just don't like the matchup coming on.
I'm surprised Arnold Allen took this fight, too, because it's not a crazy, like, it's a good win for him on paper, but as far as the rankings at featherweight, it doesn't do anything for him for the featherweight class.
That's what I also was thinking about.
Like, he's not gonna, would he really jump Josh Emmett? Like, does he really deserve to jump Josh Emmett if he wins it? Like, no disrespect to Josh Emmett or anything like that, but does he deserve it?
He would,
I don't know.
I think he might jump him, but only him. Like, he's not going to get a whole lot from this.
Like, he's not going to pass Cater.
No, not at all. I mean, in terms of rankings, this does little to nothing for him.
He might stay the same. Does that ever happen? Does a guy ever stay the same after a fight?
Yeah, it happens quite a bit. But
I mean, it might happen again.
Yeah, I think it might. Because in terms of, like, it gives him the name. I understand why he took it. Because it gives him the name that he needs. Because I feel like he doesn't have a whole lot of buzz around him right now for whatever reason. I don't know why. So it gives him a name, right? And it gives him a high profile spot. But in terms of like rankings wise, it benefits him little to nothing at all. So I don't know, man. It's kind of bizarre matchmaking from that attribute, but we both think he's gonna get the job done. So like I said, man, I like Dan Hooker a lot. I just don't like this matchup for him coming down after, I mean, something like 6 years away from featherweight. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me personally, but. Regardless, moving on, man. I think we just kind of got to go one down. Obviously, we're not going to give picks for this. We only give picks for main and co-main event, if this is your first time listening. But Paddy, the Fatty Fimblett, making his return. I'd say, fuck, dude. In terms of prospects, the most attention on him, of any guy.
What is it comparable to? There has to be something comparable to this. Like, it's just one of those guys who, he has a highlight reel, but it's different because of his character too, but it's like he can fight as well because he has the wins, and he was a champion in Cage Warriors. You know, like I can't associate. I mean, there's nothing like it in any other sport, right? There really isn't. But
no,
he has this sort of hype. He has this following. A lot of people know about him. Shit, I knew about him early on when I started watching the UFC. Like I had heard of his name, but I didn't really know a lot about him at the time, like I did now. You know, or like I did like a few years ago when we started the podcast when I found out more about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's interesting because he's a guy that had a lot of hype for years before he came in the UFC. And he was just like, I'm going to go when I'm ready. Because they've wanted to sign him back as far as fuck, man, I heard rumors back in 2016. That's just, cause he was making his name back then. But he was like, I'm not ready. I'm gonna go when I'm ready, when I feel that I have the experience needed to continue and fight at the top level. And now he's there. And, he's coming off a knockout win over Luigi Vendramini, which is a little bit scary at one point. And he's taking on another guy, Rodrigo Vargas, who's by no means a top level guy. And I think they're kind of taking the slow build with him. Rodrigo Vargas, no offense to him, obviously, but he's 36. He's 1-2 in the UFC. He is coming off a win over Rongju, your boy Angel.
Yeah. He missed weight for that though. Rongju did, I'm pretty sure. Or no, he came in.
No, he made that one, but he missed his next two.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. So,
But if you look at the losses though, illegal knee by Brock Weaver though, so
DQ,
his illegal knee.
Yeah.
My boy Alex Silva, shout out. Always got to show some love.
Yeah, so he's he's not exactly a top level guy. This is obviously one that it feels like it's kind of tailor made for Paddy Pimblett to get a win. Makes sense.
Still get something out of the office though, I think.
It might be. I mean, Luigi Vendramini was a guy who's supposed to run through and got nearly knocked out. But then again, Scousers can't get knocked out, Angel. I'm not sure if you've heard that.
Yeah, I have. You don't get knocked out.
We don't get knocked out. Dude, I think, what's weird? There's a fight that I'm really super excited for. It's gone under the radar. Gunnar Nelson.
Yes, his return.
For the first time since 2019. And I remember back whenever he left the UFC on a 3-1, his last 4 fights, he's lost 3 of them. But on paper, that looks terrible. But then you look at the names. Santiago Ponzinibbio, and I remember that fight being super controversial because he got eye poked 7 times in the final sequence. Pons was really looking to blind him in that one. I like Pons, but damn, dude, that was rough. He beats Alex Oliveira when Alex is on a nice run. He split decision to Leon Edwards in a really, really close fight. Nearly finished him. And then obviously the Gilbert Burns fight. I remember Gilbert took that on short notice. Everybody's like, damn, dude, Gunnar really lost to Gilbert Burns? That was before Gilbert was the monster that he is today. So he's finally back. Been a long time off. He's supposed to fight Claudio Silva. I thought that was a really, really, I don't want to say easy matchup for him, but an easier one to come back to than Takashi Soto. Not to say that Takashi Soto is just some monster, but definitely going to be a tougher matchup in my opinion. I'm really hyped for this one. Are you looking forward to Gunnar Nelson's return, my man?
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, if you, like you said, where he only lost ever to the highest level, we say that a lot for guys, but if you genuinely look at that and look at the state of the division now, shit, dude. You know what I mean? Doesn't have a bad loss on his record in the sense of who he's lost to. He's never lost to a guy who was under him,
Yeah, true. Very interesting guy, man. Very, very, very interesting guy. We'll have to just keep an eye on that one because I feel like I've seen nobody talking about that. At least generally, I feel like I have a pretty good, eye on the buzz of whenever a certain fighter's coming up, And I feel like Gunnar Nelson's getting no buzz, dude, none whatsoever. And I get it because at one point he was a big prospect and he hasn't really lived up to the hype that he had, but still a very, very good guy. Dude, this is how deep this card is. Jai Herbert versus Iliya Zappora is opening up the card.
This is a weird one for me though, for Topuria though. I thought he'd be fighting a ranked guy.
Mm-hmm.
But was there an opponent change here? Let me double check. No, there's an opponent change for Jai Herbert actually.
Yeah, Topuria's just fuck it, I want to get in there.
He was supposed to fight Mike Davis. Yeah, we talked about it. So Topuria's going to come in at 155, which...
Yeah, because he was supposed to fight, Topuria was supposed to fight, Musafar Aliyev earlier this year. He pulled out of the fight, and then, Topuria had to pull out. So he's just looking to get in there.
Yeah, he's trying to get
kind of a stay busy one, you know what I mean?
This is a hard one though, dude. I remember I mentioned this to you before, but then I saw our boy Jai Herbert 6'1", and I was like, damn.
Oh yeah, Jai Herbert's a bad man. I mean, his losses in the UFC are Trinaldo and Moicano, and that's it.
Yeah. Tough dudes, and we just saw Moicano do what he did. Tough ass dude, and he submitted him too. I mean, dude, that's a tough one for Iliya Zappora at 155, dude. I mean, he might get it done, he might not. I don't know. He'll still be hot at 145 regardless, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's kind of the good thing for him is taking this. Is obviously if he wins this, huge win at lightweight, keeps the buzz going. If he loses, shit, he's still at featherweight, and still one of the top guys at that division, still a top prospect. If he loses a lightweight, it doesn't really do a whole lot for him, but if he gets to win, it's honestly a nice win-win for him. Yeah, man, very deep card. As far as some of like as far as like the prelims go, what are some of the fights you're looking forward to?
I mean, Josh, he could keep going down, one down, one down, one down, one down. Like, this is how stacked this card is.
Fuck it, let's just go one down then. Mike Grundy, who, interesting prospect. He's coming off of, I mean, at one point he was an interesting prospect, I guess I should say. I feel like he's kind of lost that status his last couple fights, but he's lost 2 in a row. He's taking on Makwan Amirkhani. Damn near make or break for both these guys, honestly. I mean, Mike Grundy was a guy that came with a lot of hype. Now he's 35. Obviously, he was a former Olympian, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but he was a super accomplished amateur wrestler regardless. I don't remember if it was Olympics, but regardless. Super accomplished guy. He's lost 2 in a row. You know, he's taking on Makwan Amirkhani, who, like I said, 3 in a row. And 4 of his last 5. Like, it's been a rough time for Makwan Amirkhani, and none of those fights were particularly close either. So, very make or break for both those guys. This is one I'm really looking forward to. Shamil Abdurakhimov taking on Sergey Pavlovich. Sergey Pavlovich is still only 29. I'm still super hyped on this guy.
He's in fought an eternity, man.
I know, and he came in pretty young too. He came in for that fight in 2018 against Overeem, whenever Overeem was like on a really bad losing streak. And it kind of looked like, oh yeah, Sergey Pavlovich is going to run through this man. Nah, Reem showed that he's still really, really fucking good. Since then, he scored 2 knockout wins to Marcelo Gomez, Maurice Green. Neither one of those guys are in the UFC anymore, but still, 2 nice wins. He's taking on Shamil Abdurakhimov. We have not seen him since September 2021. He got knocked out by Chris Daukaus like 4 times. Do you remember that fight, Angel?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but it's been a while now, man.
That was UFC 266. It's the one where he got finished like 4 times. He got like his eyes rolled back like 4 times in the final sequence.
I remember it being devastating. I don't remember it off the top of my head, though.
Fair enough. Yeah, man. Very big fight for both those guys. Glad to see it's happening. And then another big one, Paul Craig, dude. He's coming back taking on Nikita Krylov. Paul Craig on the best run of his career. He said that he's going to retire by the time he's 35. Fuck, dude, you better hurry because he's 34. And it's almost devastating, dude, because he's on the best win streak of his career. He 5-fight unbeaten streak. His last time out was a huge win over Jamal Hill. Before that, he knocked out Shogun Hu in a fight that made me want to cry. And he's taking on Nikita Krylov, and Krylov, you know, never.
Man, but if he's saying this, though, Josh, I mean, if he gets this win here, I mean, does he really retire at 35, though?
I don't know, man. Some guys, everybody says they have a date, but no, I don't think anybody actually sticks to the date. I remember for a long time, Daniel Cormier is just an example. He's like, oh yeah, by the time I'm 40, I'm done. And then he fought until he was like 42. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has a date and they never stick to it.
Exactly. See, because now he's strung a couple nights.
But he could be the one.
And Jamal Hill is there, you know, like Jamal Hill is one of his wins, and it's like, dude, if he wins, he's right above Jamal Hill in the rankings, so he gets a guy like a good ranked guy after that. He gets himself in title contention as well.
True. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. If he picks up the win here, he really does have to think about it. That's going to be an interesting. Because I think he had that stance whenever he was nowhere close to title contention. He was just kind of like a fun guy, and now he's getting there. And I think he probably wins this one, honestly.
He might, dude. He might.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Damn, I guess we really just do have to move one down. Jack Shore versus Timur Valiev. This is a banger, dude.
One of the hottest prospects at 135 in Jack Shore.
And Timur Valiev, another amazing prospect. Another one. Like, this is a huge prospect fight. And neither one, correct me if I'm wrong, neither one of these guys are ranked, right?
No, which is crazy to think. That just shows how stacked 135 is.
Exactly. 135 might be the deepest division in the UFC at the moment, man.
125 is a sleeper, too. There's some guys there who haven't fought in a while who are down there who deserve their chance, too.
True. Yeah, man, I love this fight. Jack Shore's still undefeated. Timur Valiev, I believe 16-2, and he's had a couple of nice wins in a row, at least in the UFC, I mean. Huge fight. And this one's stacked way on the prelims. This is how you know this shit is a really, really good card, man. This is stacked all the way on, like, very low on the prelims.
Might be the best fight night of the year, Josh. Like, I feel like it's going to be too hard to beat this. Like, I think it's impossible to beat. I'll say it now. Fuck it.
Oh, damn, you're putting it out there.
Dude, Josh, do you think they could top this off?
Probably not.
They need to top me off, Josh. I don't think they can top me off.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, man, I don't think that I'm missing. I mean, is there any of the fights you want to go over?
I gotta shout out one of my favorite prospects, man, Muhammad Mukai, dude.
Yeah.
England's very own, dude. When we're talking about amateur MMA, man, undefeated, 22 straight fights. 5 undefeated professionally. I mean, this kid he's a beast, dude. He is a beast. He's only 21 years old. He just signed with the UFC. I mean, he's our age, Josh, and
Jesus Christ.
He's that next generation guy, you know?
Yeah.
He's that next generation guy. He came in through the I can't think of what it's called, but like the International MMA, Junior World Champion, whatever they call it. You know what I'm talking about, that thing.
Yeah.
The Junior MMA thing that they have in Europe. He came in through that, started back in 2015, stuck with it, and I mean, he's now here in the UFC, dude, 5-0. It's time for the big shots, big leagues, the toughest fights of his career. See what he can do. Keep the streak going.
He's
got a tough guy, though. He's
taking on the GOAT, Cody Durden.
Yeah. He's got a tough kid.
Jokes aside, Cody Durden he's pretty solid, man. Pretty solid.
He's a tough guy for anybody.
Yeah, only loss in the UFC was like that insane Jimmy Flick submission, I believe.
Yeah, he just signed too in 2020 with them. He came in on he fought Chris Gutierrez.
Ooh.
He took him to a draw, which Chris Gutierrez is like a forgotten guy right now at bantamweight, Josh. Like, you don't really think about Chris Gutierrez, but he's on a nice little run right now. Like, if you go look at it, I don't know if you can look at it now, but
let me go ahead and see.
He's got the wins, man. He's got the wins, and he's not even ranked. No one sees it, but he's there, and he's got a fight coming up too.
Oh damn, that's a nice low key fucking win streak, dude.
Yeah, 30-year-old Christopher Gutierrez, man. I mean, he's on it, man.
Nice, man. I didn't realize that he fought Valiev twice.
He did.
Wow, they rematched right after they fought. Yeah, nice, man. I didn't realize he was on such a nice win streak. Shout out Chris Gutierrez, dude. Very, very under the radar. Wow.
That's back in the day. World Series of fighting.
Who were some? I feel like there's like sometimes like he's one of those guys that, like, you don't think about it, but damn, dude, he's on such a nice win streak.
I saw it a few days ago. I don't know, or it might have been like last year, dude. I saw it. I was like, that's a nice little streak thing for Chris Gutierrez.
Yeah, man. Shout out to him. I didn't even know that. What is that? Like a 6-fight unbeaten streak?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, nice, man. Nice. Shout out Chris Gutierrez. Yeah, man, this is a deep card. I honestly don't know what's going to beat it.
Not a fight night. Only a pay-per-view, dude. But even then, I feel like even this is hard to beat. I feel like, I told you, I think this could have been a pay-per-view itself. I mean, they would have had to add something else in the main card, you know? But, in and of itself, like, this could have been a pay-per-view. You know what I mean?
True. It's definitely deep enough. It's by far the best London card in years. Like, I mean, that doesn't mean a lot because there hasn't been one in like 3 years, but of the last few London cards, it's by far the best. I can't remember like one on paper that was this good. Maybe like even UFC 204, which I think was the last pay-per-view in London, wasn't even close to this. So, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know. That card looks pretty good too. Now that I'm looking at it,
UFC 204.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just misremembering. Oh, it's aged a lot better though.
Yeah. Oh, at the time it was pretty bad.
At the time it was pretty meh. Like the top three were pretty good, but even then it was like
Mike Perry was on this card. Holy fuck.
Mike Perry was, Leon Edwards. Both of those guys pretty I almost say Mike Perry was unknown, but he was a huge name at the time.
Oh yeah, no.
Leonardo Santos wasn't a big deal. Same thing for Mark Casey. It was a lot of like good-ish guys, but it's aged a lot better actually.
The body of Vitor Belfort was there.
Yeah, that was a dope card though. Like the main card, I mean, but top to bottom, you know.
No, I know what you mean. Let's get it.
Yeah, but as far as the rest of like MMA goes, there's no Bellator this week to kind of like go over in terms of preview. Next Bellator card is obviously going to be the one in April, which is insane with AJ McKee, Patricio, and Vadim Nemkov, Corey Anderson. But as far as fights to go over, man, Bellator 276 from the Family Arena in St. Louis, Missouri. last Saturday night, which because it was on Saturday, I don't think nearly as many people watched it, but this main event was a banger. Adam Borsch defeating Maj Burnell. Unanimous decision. We were wrong on this one, Angel, but 49-46, 50-45, 49-46. I thought the fight was a lot closer than what the cards said. But regardless, Adam Borsch getting a nice win. What do you think?
Look, I only saw the highlights on Twitter, sadly. It was an MMA-packed week, Josh. I mean, I saw Eagle FC, I saw ONE FC highlights, I saw Bellator highlights, I obviously caught the whole UFC card. But from what I saw, it looked like Adam Borsch was extremely successful on the feet. It looked like did the fight even hit the ground, Josh? I didn't see any highlights of the fight hitting the ground.
No, I don't honestly remember it that well, but I believe only once or twice.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was a stand-up fight. We kind of knew going in that if it was going to be a stand-up fight, that's Adam Borsch all day.
Yeah, and it was, dude. I mean, he's for 145 man. I mean, he's a dangerous guy. 18-1 man. And Matt Brunel, we saw him in the UFC. We thought he was a dumb cut. I mean, he's still a good guy. I mean, he could still be in the UFC now. But man, that just goes to show Adam Borsch's level, dude. I mean, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. Adam Borsch is a guy. Obviously, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure this is set up. He's going to fight the winner. Like, he's going to fight for the title next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still only 20 years old, man. 28. So, looking forward to seeing him next, his return. As far as like the co-main event, this entire main card was weird. It was all decisions, in case you guys didn't watch it. Co-main event, Phil Davis defeating Julius and Julius. Man, I like Phil Davis a lot. I mean, this is a nice solid win for him. I was honestly disappointed with Julius Anglickas. Like I said, I'm always suspect of a guy that looks good in defeat, but he did look good against Vadim Nemkov. Took that one on short notice too. And dude, he got dominated in this one. As far as Phil Davis goes, man, just another day at the office, another nice feather in the cap. What do you think about him moving forward to light heavyweight?
He's in a good spot, man, but it's just like, I mean, he's fought for the title technically, and it's just like, he can get back to it, obviously, with the way Bellator is and the whole design. But man, yeah, I mean, he'll get back to it, right? I think there's no way he doesn't get another shot at it, but it's gonna be a heck of a time. I mean, he's getting older, and I mean, that's obviously not helping him, but he doesn't seem to be slowing down too much, so there's still a possibility that he could have a, championship wrapped around his waist. Some gold wrapped around him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also think that he's really got to be hoping and praying that Corey Anderson beats Vadim Nemkov next month.
Which I think is it impossible?
Yeah. No, I don't want to say it's likely, but I think it's very, very possible. I'll probably pick Vadim Nemkov, just I don't want to spoil my pick, but I think Nemkov can win that one, probably the favorite for sure, but it's not going to be easy by any means.
For either guy.
For sure. Very, very good fight next month. But yeah, dude, for Phil Davis, you got to be hoping and praying. I mean, as far as rest of the card goes, my man, is there anything else you want to talk about from that one?
Not specifically, man. Like I told you, I sadly ended up missing out on it, but I did see my boy Alex Pelosi caught a win and got a nice little submission.
Dude, that was a banger of a fight, too. I'd recommend you go back and watch that one.
I have to, man. He had that loss against the Iliya back in 2020. Dang, he's fought that much? Damn. Been an wow, okay. This man is super active. That's what's been keeping this man active. He said, I'm getting back to my title. I'm getting to that title shot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Anglickas rematch at least.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That was a hell of a fight. So, full props to him. I talked about him last week, but continued the winning streak. Cody Law, man, just dominating, knocking out James Adcock in like a minute. This kid, just keep an eye on him, man. 26 years old, just keep an eye on him. Within the next year or two, gotta be hitting that rankings. So, keep an eye on Cody Law, man. Yeah, very much a low-key card. You can kind of tell this is one of those Bellator cards where it was like, you know what? They put it out there. I love the fact that it was a 5-round main event. Obviously, I love that they finally made that change. But you can tell, they have these cards where it's kind of like the prospect card, and they'll do some cards where they fucking load up on Bellator. Like, they'll just load up like Bellator 277, which, like I said it earlier, McKee, Patricio, Pitbull 2, Nemkov, Anderson, Pico, Kennedy, and Tim Johnson, Linton Vassell. And even down the undercard, dude. Tyrell Fortune's back. Kyle Crutchmer's back. Insane card. So looking forward to that one. Angel, my man, I believe that's all there is to talk about for Bellator. Is there any other MMA news or anything else you want to hit before we close out?
Oh, we got to talk about Eagle FC, Josh. I know you caught some of that. Oh, my
God, yeah. Yeah, I can't believe we forgot. We obviously didn't preview it. I think we just forgot.
I think we did, but I was interested in it. I just didn't mention it at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Damn. Eagle FC, I mean, if you're a Kevin Lee fan, not the best performance. I'm still a Kevin Lee fan. I still like the guy, but I feel like this is kind of a night where it was Diego Sanchez's night, man. I feel like he's a guy that he's at that stage in his career where I think most people are just happy to see him alive and in good spirits, because obviously he's a guy that's been through some shit. He's 40 now. Obviously he had that terrible situation with Joshua Fabio, which obviously everybody makes jokes about it, but he was legitimately in a cult. Like, I feel pretty comfortable saying that.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, he's talked about it. He talked about it. It was like he wasn't in control of his life at all. Like, he didn't control anything.
Damn, that's scary.
He couldn't have an interview without Joshua Fabio being there. And it's one thing because it's like he's talked before, like, he cut out a lot of people out of his life because that's what he. And Diego's a guy. I mean,
but you know what, Josh?
Yeah.
His Lord and Savior Jesus Christ saved him. He said it himself.
I'm not a religious man. If he wants, whatever.
No, hey man, I'm just saying what Diego said.
Yeah, else. I know. It is genuinely tough to walk out of a cult, though. It's a very tough thing.
And God helped him, Josh.
God helped him, for sure.
God can help you, Josh.
I feel like you're trying to get me to say something, and I'm not going to say anything, Angel. I'm not going to do it. I'm too happy for Diego, the nightmare.
I'm your nightmare, Josh.
I still think that's the funny. Like,
I mean, who's next, Josh? FPS Rush is next. Oh, dude, we completely forgot about that. He's still signed at BKFC,
Diego?
Right? Yeah, right.
He did not sign. I got the scoop on this one, Angel. Apparently, he was offered more money for BKFC, but he signed to Eagle FC because he wanted his MMA career to end on a better note.
I guess he did say he's going to fight out his contract, which is 2 more fights.
2 more fights, and he said he wants to get that belt, that 165-pound belt.
2 fights.
I don't know why this one wasn't for the title. I mean, honestly, I get, like, Khabib, like, wants to, like...
Well, they had another 165 fight on this card.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
And a 160 bout as well.
Yeah, so... I don't know, man. Yeah, dude, in terms of the actual fight, dude, this was Diego Sanchez's kind of night. Because I feel like as much as it's fun to make fun of Kevin Lee, I feel like everybody's just kind of happy for him. Like, Diego was in great spirits. And he looked good, dude. Obviously, he lost 30-27 on the card. That was a competitive 30-27. He was a huge underdog. Everybody expected him to get fucked up. And you know what? He did some fucking up. Like, he did some fucking up of Kevin Lee. He hurt his legs really bad. He landed some nice leg kicks. He rocked him in round 2. It was a really, really fun fight, dude. It was a fun fight. They both ended up being, like, relatively healthy. Both got out of there unscathed, especially Diego. He still got some more left in the tank. You know what? As far as... I feel like the way his UFC career ended where he looked terrible with Joshua Fabio, it made people kind of forget, like, how good, like, he was before he went to Joshua Fabio. Where he put together a nice win streak. He beat the shit out of Mickey Gall. He beat Craig White, who at the time was a pretty nice prospect. And, and then he decided to go to Joshua Fabio, and his whole career fell apart. Now he's back training with an actual team, and he said, like, yeah, it's a team that he constructed himself. He only has like three or four guys, 3 or 4 coaches, training partners, and it worked out for him, dude. He looked in good shape. He went the full distance. Moving forward, both of these guys, man. I mean, obviously this is the second real Eagle FC event. What are your thoughts on the event as a whole, and what do you think is next for both these guys in general? I mean, foreseeing their future, what do you think?
I mean, I'm sure they're going to push. I'm sure Khabib's going to push Kevin Lee as hard as he can, give him the best possible matchups, toughest matchups he can at 165 in this promotion. And Diego, I'm not sure what they're going to do to Diego, but I'm sure they'll give him some guy that we probably never heard of who has some good potential and can give him a good run for his money.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Yeah, man. Overall, a fun Eagle FC card. I feel like some people. Is it just me or I feel like, it could be I'm just more in touch with, like, the MMA, like, Twitter side of things and, like, that whole community, but I think
you know what it is, Josh?
Huh?
You know what it is?
What?
You have a heart.
That's true, I do have a heart. But I feel like a lot of people are rooting for Eagle SC to kind of, like, fail. I feel like a lot of people are saying that. Like, they blasted Diego signing. People are mad that they signed JDS. Like, they're like, oh my god, they're only signing old guys. It's like, bro.
JDS is gonna fight fucking Jorgen De Castro, dude. Do people not, like, know who's gonna, you know what I mean? Like,
that's actually a really good fight.
It is a really good fight. Don't disrespect Jorgen De Castro, but Jorgen De Castro is, like, Not much taller than what you probably think, Josh.
Not much to Angel. I could beat Jorgen de Castro. No, you fucked me up. But like, as far as
you could try,
I could try. Yeah. I mean, I saw Habib talk about this. He got asked a question like, "What do you think about like people like criticizing because you're only signing these old veterans?" And be like, "Dude, we hold events in Russia like every month. There are tons of guys that you've never heard of. Just because we have some older veterans doesn't mean we don't have a lot of guys that you guys don't even know about." And he made a really, really good point. I mean, the guy in the co-main event, like the heavyweight who choked out Anthony Hamilton, I saw everybody blasting like, "Oh my God, why is Anthony Hamilton in there? Why is he even fighting for a title?" It's like, dude, the guy that he's facing is a like 12-1 Dagestani 29-year-old who's like on an insane win streak. And your takeaway is that, oh damn, like Anthony Hamilton looked bad. Like, dude, no. This other kid is a really, really good prospect. Like, this is how MMA works. Like, are you guys new to this? Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are rooting for you.
I think their whole issue with that, though, it was like for a title. Like, that was their title fight. You know what I mean?
That's true. Although I mean, was Anthony Hamilton like a late replacement or something?
That could make sense. Like, I'm not saying he was or wasn't. Oh, it doesn't look like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to do some quick. Nope. Anthony Hamilton was just set to fight.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. Never mind then.
By the way, he had fought in Eagle FC before this too. He fought in last year, and he also lost. Okay.
Fair enough. You know who's an interesting signing that I kind of want to get your take on because I don't think we've talked about this on the show.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Erwin Rivera being?
I need the whole backstory. I try to do my own research. Give me a quick little breakdown quickly, and I'll give you my opinion.
Erwin Rivera signed to the UFC. He was a former Titan FC bantamweight champion. He came in, lost to Giga. He won a fight. Then he had a split decision with Andre Ewell. After that split decision with Andre Ewell, a couple months later, he was arrested on 2 counts of attempted murder. He stabbed his 2 sisters, and then it came out that rather than actually going to jail, he was actually found not guilty by reason of his sin. He was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which he was unaware that he had, and he was having a psychotic episode at the time of the stabbings. He spent a year in a mental health facility, and he was released.
I mean,
and now Eagle FC, he's fighting for them.
I mean, it sounds like you got the proper help, but I mean, shit, Josh, guys like, no offense, Greg Hardy have been signed to the UFC, so.
There's also a huge difference between Greg Hardy and Erwin Rivera, man. Like,
no, you're not wrong.
Greg Hardy obviously terrible situations. I hate to compare terrible situations, but one was like he beat up his girlfriend. The other one was like this dude stabbed 2 people.
I mean, you also got to think about like everything, Josh. All sports too, dude. Like the kind of people who've stuck around. It's like, is it really a surprise?
I just hope that he's getting the proper help. That's all I hope.
It sounded like he was getting the proper help.
But also, like, should like this guy really be competing if he's like?
That's another great question.
Having psychotic episodes. I don't know. I mean, shit. We have Sean Strickland, so I mean.
Exactly. That's another good point. Like, there's a lot of good points here.
It goes both ways. I don't know, man. It was a fun card, though. It was definitely a fun card. As far as like, I'm pretty sure that's all we have really to talk about this week. Is there anything else I missed, my man?
Nothing specific, man. I think we got it all down pretty good.
Sounds good. As far as this episode, guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm at Josh Evanoff on Twitter, at AngelOrtega_01 for all things relating to Angel Ortega. If you guys want to keep up with the show, at Courtside Sound. If you guys enjoyed it, peace and butt grease. Mouse click.